every shadow, in every whisper, there's a story the world was never meant to hear. Some truths rot in silence. Some secrets were buried for a reason. But here, we dig them up. I'm Mr. Uncanny, and these are the tales that claw their way out of the dark. True stories, urban legends, cursed encounters, paranormal truths too strange to ignore. Welcome to the place where fear has a voice. Don't look behind you. Don't trust the silence. And remember, the uncanny is never far. In a remote and forgotten village nestled among the hills of northern Israel, something dark began to fester. The air had grown heavy over the past year, the skies more overcast than usual, and the winds often carried faint, almost inaudible whispers that no one could quite explain. But no one expected the darkness to take root in one of their own. It started subtly, with a teenage girl named Leora. She was quiet, thoughtful, and kind, always helping at the market, always reading by the edge of the olive groves. But something began to change. Her laughter stopped. Her once bright eyes dulled into a lifeless stare. She stopped eating meals at home and began locking herself in her room for hours, sometimes days, only to emerge with scratch marks on her arms and dried blood around her fingernails. She claimed it was nothing, but it wasn't. Her friends at school started to keep their distance. They said she would speak in strange languages under her breath, glaring at them with eyes that didn't seem human. One girl said she caught Leora staring at her reflection in the school bathroom mirror for nearly an hour, whispering to it, giggling occasionally, as if something on the other side was responding. Her parents feared she was slipping into a depression or some kind of mental break. But everything changed one night. It was late. Her father woke to the sound of scratching, nails on wood coming from the kitchen. He crept downstairs expecting to find the family cat, but what he saw would never leave his mind. Leora was crouched on the floor in the dark, her fingers wrapped around a dead mouse. Blood dripped from her mouth. Her eyes were wide and unblinking, glowing faintly in the dark. She turned to him slowly and hissed. Her father screamed. Panicked, her parents sought help. Doctors found nothing wrong. Psychologists said she was showing signs of severe psychosis, but her behavior only worsened. Crucifixes fell from the walls when she entered the room. Bibles burst into flames near her. The family began to hear voices at night, raspy, hateful voices coming from under Leora's bed. Her little brother claimed he saw her levitate one evening, her arms outstretched as if welcoming something unseen. Desperate, her parents contacted an old Christian priest from outside the village, a man known for confronting unexplainable phenomena. When he arrived, he went pale just stepping inside their home. "There is something ancient here," he whispered, crossing himself. "She is not alone." He claimed 6 entities had taken hold of Leora. Demons not of this world, some even older than Scripture. The priest insisted on taking her to the old stone church at the village's edge, a place once sealed off after rumors of occult practices decades ago. For 90 days, Leora was held inside. No one was allowed in. Villagers who passed by at night reported horrifying sounds, screaming, sobbing, snarling. Sometimes it sounded like more than one person. Other times, like animals. Some nights, the bell would ring on its own. Lights flickered in the stained glass windows, even though there was no electricity in the church. And on the 49th night, a farmer claimed he saw the church doors burst open and a swarm of black birds pour out like a living storm. After that, no one dared go near it. The priest stopped answering the family. The church remained locked. Then on the 90th day, the doors were open, and everything was silent. Leora was gone. The priest offered no answers. He looked gaunt, his eyes sunken and full of dread. When her parents demanded to know what happened, he simply said, "She is beyond saving now." And then he vanished. Some say he fled the country. Others claim he died shortly after, found with his eyes gouged out and a cross carved into his chest. The church was sealed again, but something was wrong with the village. Animals began to disappear. First chickens, then goats. One morning, all the dogs were found dead, their bodies arranged in a perfect circle outside the church. Children woke screaming from nightmares of Leora, dreams where she dragged them into dark places and whispered secrets that made them bleed from the ears. One family swore they saw her standing in the middle of the road, soaked in blood, with something slithering behind her in the shadows. She disappeared when their headlights hit her. Others began to report sightings of her at their windows, always at 3:33 a.m., always staring, not moving. Sometimes she'd smile. Sometimes her mouth would open impossibly wide, revealing rows of jagged teeth, black as void. Whispers filled the village at night, chanting in a tongue no one understood. Trees near the church started to rot from within. Water from the well began to taste like ash. A shepherd was found frozen solid in the middle of the field, eyes wide, mouth open, as if he'd seen something unimaginable. The villagers tried to hold a prayer vigil, but the candles wouldn't stay lit. A strong wind blew through the town square, even though the night was still. And in that wind, someone swore they heard her voice. "You let them take me. Now I'll take you." Since then, doors creak open on their own. Shadows move without light. People see Leora walking through the mist, her eyes glowing, her hands dragging long fingernails across walls. Sometimes she's smiling, sometimes she's weeping, but always, always watching. Now many homes lie abandoned. The church remains sealed, but no one dares to go near it. The last person who did, an outsider journalist, was found on the church steps, eyes burned out, mouth stitched shut. His camera had one photo left undeleted, a blurry figure in white, standing at the altar, her eyes bright like fire. The village lives in constant fear. Parents keep their children inside. The wind seems to whisper her name. No one knows what truly happened to Leora. Some say the ritual failed. Others believe it worked too well, that the demons were expelled from her, but not destroyed, that they walk among the villagers now, wearing new faces. And still, every night around 3:33 a.m., if you listen closely near the church, you might hear a voice from the darkness say, "I'm still here." And you'll know, the nightmare is far from over. You stayed until the end. That means it sees you now. Stories like these aren't just told, they're invitations. And by listening, you've opened a door. To keep it from coming through, you'll need to leave something behind. A like, a share, a subscription, a small price, to keep the darkness satisfied. Or don't. But if you hear scratching at your window tonight, just remember,
the uncanny is never far.